It's Monday morning with Cheryl. I don't know if y'all realized, but last week I actually didn't post a video. And I think it's the first time in a year that I haven't, maybe even over a year. Felt a little guilty about that, but just decided needed to let it go. But I do have a really important topic today. And for many, it's like, oh my gosh, it sounds new and shocking. But actually, pornography is my topic. And I was going to say that actually this has been an issue with the internet and pornography for a while now. And I'm just finding that it's becoming a more mainstream topic about what to do about it, to help support our kids and families and what this all means. So again, there have been issues with pornography for a number of years now. And at my previous school, I mentioned her before, Randy Randolph with Safe Place. She came to the school to talk about healthy relationships, and the families were very open to it because the subject is very challenging. So this discussion here is not whether or not you think porn is bad or good for yourselves. That is not important to me. However, it is important when it impacts children. And I listened to a podcast again recently, and again, this isn't a new topic for me because I have had to deal with it as a school administrator. But they said that, I want to get the statistic right, that it was one in 10 visits to a porn site are kids 10 and under. Now, I don't believe that young kids go looking for it. I believe that it pops up, but they're doing an innocent search and it comes up. And I want to share that I just recently had this conversation with a client whose son, sure, he's a wonderful child. This isn't about good or bad kids, that he was watching porn and he came across it accidentally and finally came to his dad to discuss what to do because he was getting really drawn into it and had all these emotions around watching porn as a young teenager. So again, this isn't the kids are going to look for it necessarily. It pops up. The porn industry is out there looking for it. And I'm not one of these people that's really into scare tactics. But I think that part of the problem is that parents are clueless about this. And yes, parents have a lot of concern, but it's not something that is popping up on their radar. So in this podcast, I want to give you her name because I looked at her website. She's got a lot of good resources and guides that I want to even purchase for myself. Her name is Kristen Jensen, and she wrote a book called Good Pictures, Bad Pictures, and she's got things for different age levels. And she does have a website that I don't have handy, but I'm sure if you Google her name, it will come up. And again, it has some great information there. So I would just want to stress that kids are curious and things are going to happen, and parents, you need to be prepared. And I would even say you need to be proactive. Just like I've said in video after video, whether it's sex or addiction or pornography, we need to start having age-appropriate conversations and discussions about this when the children are very, very young. She stresses 3 things that are really important when talking with your child. And again, I've talked about this many times. Books are a great way to open the conversation and have the conversation. And she has some recommendations and has written her own. And again, her name is Kristen Jensen. 1, kids need a definition so they can recognize it and they know what it is. These pictures will pop up and they're very uncertain about what to do with them. 2, you need to have a warning. They need to have a warning that porn can be harmful. It can be harmful. So that is very important that they recognize it, have a definition, and then recognize that, that they need to know, oh my God, this can be harmful. What do I do now that I've seen it? And then they need a plan so they know what to do when they see pornography. So, of course, we want them to come to us and to ask us as the adult any questions they have. One of the reasons why we want to have this conversation is we don't want them to go to friends. Oh my God, this has been a long life history kind of thing where kids will learn about their bodies and sex and all these things from their friends, especially at camp. Summer camp's great for that. And it's incorrect information. And Google, we do not want them to Google this. It's really important they come to you, that you're ready, and that you have been having conversations with them all along about different things, about healthy relationships, what they might see on the internet, to prepare them so it won't be a shock. I know a lot of parents, and I don't have a lot of specific knowledge around this, about privacy things and how to block certain websites. What I learned from this podcast, which I didn't know, is that some of these blockers do not work for apps, and kids will sometimes come across things on an app by accident. So she recommends a filter called Canopy. And again, I don't know a lot about this. I haven't checked into it, but it might be something that you want to check out if you feel like you need to put some protection on your child's computer. But again, this is for websites. It will not be for an app on the phone. It's not for social media, those sort of things. I know a lot of parents will only allow their children to go on social media from their computer versus using an app. So there is so much to talk about on this topic, and I know I'm just scratching the surface. Again, what I want to stress is kids are going to be curious. This is not that they're bad kids, and that we need to start having conversations with the kids at a very young age. I've talked about that, sex education, addiction again. And you might want to have some protections on the computer. I have mixed feelings around that, but you need to decide what works for you. And just be sure that your kid, again, can recognize what it is, that they might have some emotions around it, and that they come to you as a resource. That, to me, is most important. If you have any other questions, please let me know. This is a very uncomfortable, tender topic, and I think it's really tied into sex education and healthy relationships and what that all means. But there's a lot of information out there about misunderstandings around porn when children see it and what they believe to be true about relationships. So it's really important that they hear our voices and hear your values and your voices. If you have any questions, please let me know. Hope you have a wonderful week, and let me know if you've had any experience around this. I know a lot has changed since the days of sneaking a magazine and hiding it under your bed. Have a great week. Take care.